Welcome back, everyone, for another deep dive. This time, we're going to step into a world that you might not think about too much, honestly, but it's surprisingly complex. Exterior cleaning, specifically for those luxury apartment buildings that we see around town.
It's a fascinating little niche, really.
Yeah. For this deep dive, you provided us with some materials from All-Star Power Cleaning, a company that specializes in keeping those high-end properties looking, well, high-end.
And it's really interesting how this very specific service, I mean, we're just talking about cleaning, right? But it connects back to these broader ideas like real estate economics, the psychology of marketing,
Yeah.
even urban planning.
Yeah, it's like a hidden world almost.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into this All-Star Power Cleaning document and see what we can find, what kind of gems we can uncover about this world.
I'm ready. Let's get our hands a little dirty with knowledge.
All right. So first, a little context from the document. The luxury apartment market in Cleveland, incredibly competitive. They cite a 95% occupancy rate. That means.
Landlords are all fighting for tenants, and when that's the case, first impressions are everything.
It's like online dating, but for apartments.
Yeah, exactly. Swipe left, swipe right.
Based on that first photo.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Potential renters, they want to see a building and know quality, good care, a lifestyle that I want to be a part of.
And so I guess that's where All-Star Power Cleaning comes in. The document outlines the services they offer, a whole range of them. Pressure washing, window cleaning, sealing those pavers. There's even a soft washing they talk about for more delicate surfaces.
And each of those services is really targeted at a particular need. Pressure washing gets into those high traffic areas, all that ground in grime. Soft washing, that's about protecting those more sensitive materials. And window cleaning, well,
Window cleaning, that's pretty self-explanatory, right?
it lets the light in, literally.
Yeah.
But it's also about showcasing the view, the appeal of the building.
And they give some really specific examples, too, not just a list of services. Like, they talk about using paver sealing to completely transform the entryway of a property over in Westlake. It sounds like more than just cleaning.
It is. It's cleaning, yes, but it's also preserving, protecting. Paver sealing. It's guarding against wear and tear, stains, even weather damage. It's thinking about the long-term value of the property.
So it's not just about looking good for those potential renters. It's about, I guess, maintaining the building's worth.
Precisely. A well-maintained exterior can actually increase a property's appeal and, yeah, its overall value.
Now, here's where it gets interesting. They're very specific about using smaller trucks that won't disrupt the residents. And they really emphasize the fact that their technicians are carefully screened, highly trained.
It's smart. They're tailoring their approach to that luxury market.
Pre-kids.
Smaller trucks, less
Yeah.
intrusive, right?
Eh.
And well-trained technicians. It signals a certain level of professionalism that really aligns with what that luxury experience is supposed to be.
So it's like they're saying, we get it. We understand this world.
Exactly. And they even go a step further. They talk about above industry compensation for their technicians.
Interesting. Why highlight that?
Consumers, and I think this is pretty well established now, but they see a company that treats its employees well. They associate that with trustworthiness, reliability.
It's like a subtle quality signal.
Exactly, it says. All-Star, they care about quality, they're willing to invest in it.
So they're not just cleaning, they're crafting an image.
Absolutely. It's an experience they're selling.
Yeah.
Every detail, from the truck size to the training, it's carefully considered to meet those expectations of the luxury market.
Wow. And all of this is communicated through this. I mean, it's a pretty straightforward document about cleaning, right?
Right. But it's a great example of how these services, things we might consider mundane, how they can be positioned to appeal to a specific market and achieve, I guess, these bigger goals.
It makes you wonder what other hidden messages are out there, right? In plain sight.
That's the fun part, isn't it? These deep dives, we uncover those unexpected connections, those layers beneath the surface.
Okay, so let's get into some specifics. The document lists a bunch of neighborhoods they service. Westlake, North Royalton, Strongsville, Avon Lake. It's like a who's who of, I guess, luxury hotspots in Northeast Ohio.
And each of those areas comes with its own set of challenges when it comes to maintaining those picture-perfect exteriors.
So let's talk about those differences, those challenges. We'll start with Westlake. What kind of cleaning hurdles do they face there?
Westlake's interesting. It's this blend of like urban energy, but also that suburban tranquility. Think Crocker Park. Lots of foot traffic. People with shopping bags, maybe a latte or two gets spilled on the sidewalk.
It happens all the time.
And all of that requires more than just a quick sweep, right?
Yeah, I can imagine. High traffic areas probably need more frequent cleaning just to keep up.
Exactly. Pressure washing, that kind of thing. But You also have to consider that Westlake's got that quiet, peaceful vibe, so noise and disruption during cleaning, that becomes a much bigger concern.
Ah, so that's why All-Star emphasizes those smaller trucks. They're thinking about the residents, that desire for a peaceful living experience.
Precisely. Now, contrast that with Avon and Avon Lake right there on Lake Erie.
Lakeside live. Oh, yeah. Beautiful.
But comes with its own set of cleaning challenges. Salt spray. Constant exposure to that, it can be incredibly corrosive to those building materials.
So suddenly it's not just about aesthetics, it's about protecting the actual structure of the building.
Exactly. Coastal communities, they often need specialized cleaning solutions, protective coatings, just to combat the effects of all that salt and moisture.
And I bet mildew and algae, those are probably big problems in those humid environments too, right?
Oh, absolutely. They thrive in those conditions.
Yeah.
So preventing their growth, that becomes crucial to avoid damaging those exteriors.
Wow. So we've got microclimates, landscaping, specific cleaning needs based on the area. It's a whole ecosystem just for cleaning.
And All-Star is positioning themselves as the experts in navigating that ecosystem, understanding the nuances of each property, tailoring their services.
They're not just cleaning, they're problem solving.
And they're anticipating the needs of these luxury properties, making sure every detail is taken care of.
They're saying we don't just clean, we elevate, we enhance, we make your property shine.
And in a world where first impressions are everything, that's a really powerful message.
It is. Okay, I'm starting to see things differently now. It's not just about aesthetics. It's about economics. It's about the community, even a sense of responsibility, I guess.
It's the beauty of these deep dives. We uncover those unexpected connections, the implications that are hiding beneath the surface.
Okay, I'm hooked. Let's keep going. I want to understand the bigger picture. Why should someone who's not living in a luxury apartment care about this?
That's a great question. And I think the answer lies in understanding how these choices, things that seem mundane, how they have these ripple effects. Think about it. The condition of a property, simply one that's visible, high traffic, it impacts the whole neighborhood.
But that broken window theory.
Yes.
Yeah.
One-sided neglect can lead to more neglect, and eventually the whole area suffers.
But then the opposite is true too, right? If it's well maintained, it can have this positive impact.
Absolutely. It creates a sense of pride, attracts investment, can even boost property values nearby.
So All-Star, they're not just keeping those apartments looking good, they're contributing to a better neighborhood.
It's a positive feedback loop, and that's something we can all get behind, whether we're renting a luxury apartment or not.
Wow, you're right. This is fascinating. Okay, I'm ready to dive into the next layer of this. What about the actual techniques they use? They keep mentioning pressure washing. What does that even involve?
Pressure washing. It's essentially using this super concentrated stream of water to blast away dirt, grime, you name it. Think of it like power washing your house, but on a much larger scale.
Okay, so those sidewalks we talked about, especially in places like Westlake, those would be perfect candidates for pressure washing.
You got it. It's perfect for those tough exterior surfaces that take a beating from all that foot traffic, the elements. Makes them look brand new.
But wouldn't that be too much for some materials? Like they mentioned vinyl siding. You wouldn't want to blast that with a super powerful jet of water, right?
You're right, you wouldn't. That's where soft washing comes in.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Soft washing, it's gentler, lower water pressure, and they use these special cleaning solutions. Perfect for vinyl siding, wood, stucco, even roofs.
It's about choosing the right tool for the job, I guess. You wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw, and you wouldn't pressure wash a delicate awning.
Exactly. And that's where the expertise of a company like All-Star comes in. They know those nuances, when to use what to get the best results without causing any damage.
It's like they're cleaning scientists.
A bit like that, yeah. And that knowledge, it's essential in the luxury market where the stakes are high and clients expect perfection.
Speaking of high expectations, they also talk about window cleaning. I mean, it seems straightforward enough, but I imagine cleaning those giant windows on luxury apartment buildings, that's got to be its own challenge.
Oh, it is. Definitely more complex than your average house window.
Yeah.
Dealing with heights, awkward angles, and you've got to get that streak-free shine.
And in Cleveland, with the weather we get here, those windows must get dirty pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Rain, snow, pollen, you name it. Regular window cleaning. It's essential to maintain that luxury look.
Okay, I'm getting it now. There's a lot more to this than I realized. It's a whole world of knowledge, specialized techniques, a real commitment to quality.
And that commitment to quality, it goes beyond just the physical appearance of the building, too.
How so?
Well, remember those smaller trucks, the highly trained technicians? That's not just about looking good. It's about providing a service that's discreet, respectful, aligned with what luxury living is all about.
So it's the whole experience, not just the end result.
Precisely. It's understanding the nuances of the market, catering to those needs every step of the way.
This brings us back to something you mentioned earlier about how the condition of a property can influence the whole neighborhood. Can you talk a bit more about that?
Sure. Well-maintained properties, especially those in prominent locations, they have this ripple effect on the whole community. They create a sense of pride, and that can actually influence property values.
Like the saying, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly. When one property looks good, it encourages others to step up their game too. It's a win-win for everyone.
So All-Star Power Cleaning, they're not just making buildings look good, they're contributing to a thriving, vibrant community.
And that's something we can all appreciate, whether we live in a luxury apartment or not. It's about recognizing how our actions impact the world around us.
This has been an eye-opening deep dive. It's incredible how something as, I guess, ordinary as exterior cleaning can connect to all these bigger ideas.
That's the magic of it, right?
Yeah,
Sometimes the most fascinating stories are hidden in plain sight.
absolutely. Okay, so I'm officially hooked. But before we wrap things up, there's one more thing I'm curious about.
What's that?
The document from All-Star keeps mentioning pressure washing. It seems like their bread and butter. What does it actually involve?
Well, pressure washing is essentially using a high-powered stream of water to blast away dirt, grime, mold, and other unwanted substances from surfaces. It's incredibly effective for cleaning those tough exterior areas that take a beating from the elements.
So like those sidewalks we were talking about, I can imagine those get pretty grimy, especially with all the foot traffic and, whatever else ends up on them.
Exactly. Pressure washing can make those sidewalks look brand new again. And it's not just sidewalks. It's great for building facades, parking garages, decks, fences, almost any exterior surface that can handle a bit of force.
But what about those more delicate surfaces? Like those vinyl sidings All-Star mentioned. You wouldn't want to blast those with a superpowered jet of water, right?
That's where soft washing comes in. It's a gentler approach that uses lower pressure and specialized cleaning solutions to remove dirt and mildew without damaging the surface.
So it's like choosing the right tool for the job. You wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw, and you wouldn't use a pressure washer on a delicate awning.
Precisely. And that's where the expertise of a company like All-Star comes in. They understand the nuances of different materials and cleaning methods so they can choose the right approach to get the best results without causing any damage.
It's like they're cleaning scientists, mixing and matching techniques and solutions to tackle each unique challenge.
It's a bit like that, yes. And that level of knowledge is essential in the luxury market where the stakes are high and clients expect perfection.
Speaking of perfection, this document also talks about window cleaning. Clean windows are a must-have, but I never really thought about the logistics of cleaning those giant multi-story windows on those luxury apartment buildings.
It's definitely not a job for the faint of heart. It requires specialized equipment, safety training, and a meticulous approach. You're often dealing with heights, awkward angles, and the need to get a streak-free shine.
And in a city like Cleveland, where the weather can be unpredictable, to say the least, I bet those windows get dirty pretty quickly.
Absolutely. Rain, snow, pollen, dust. It all takes its toll. Regular window cleaning is essential for maintaining that sparkling, luxurious look.
Okay, I'm starting to see the bigger picture here. This is about so much more than just spraying water around. It's about understanding the science of cleaning, the needs of different materials, the challenges of each unique property, and the expectations of a discerning clientele.
It's a whole ecosystem of expertise, and companies like All-Star have carved out a niche by mastering that ecosystem. They're not just cleaners, they're problem solvers, they're image consultants, they're partners in maintaining the value and appeal of these luxury properties.
And they're playing a role in shaping the look and feel of our city. One sparkling window, one pristine sidewalk, one beautifully maintained building at a time.
It's a reminder that even the most seemingly mundane things can have a profound impact on the world around us. And that attention to detail, expertise, and a commitment to excellence can make all the difference.
So we've talked about these different neighborhoods All-Star works in and the unique cleaning challenges they face. But what about the actual techniques they use? I mean, this document mentions pressure washing a lot. What exactly does that involve?
Pressure washing at its core, it's using a really powerful stream of water to basically blast away dirt, grime, anything you don't want on those surfaces. You can think of it like power washing your house, but like on a much bigger scale.
Oh, okay. So those sidewalks you were talking about earlier, especially in high traffic areas like Westlake, those would be prime candidates for pressure washing.
Exactly. It's super effective for those tough surfaces that take a beating from, well, everything. Foot traffic, weather, you name it. It can make those sidewalks look like brand new.
Yeah, I can see that. But wouldn't that kind of power be too much for some materials? Like they mentioned using it on vinyl siding.
You're right. You wouldn't want to use like a super high-powered pressure washer on those delicate surfaces. That's where soft washing comes in.
Ah, okay. So what's the difference?
Soft washing, it's, well, softer, lower water pressure, and they use specialized cleaning solutions that are designed for things like vinyl siding, wood, stucco, even roofs.
So it's all about picking the right tool for the job. You wouldn't use a hammer to tighten a screw, and you wouldn't use a pressure washer on a delicate awning.
Exactly. And that's a big part of what makes a company like All-Star stand out. They have the expertise to know what technique to use when to get the best results without damaging anything.
Like they're cleaning scientists almost.
There's definitely a science to it.
Hmm.
And that knowledge, that's especially important in the luxury market where the stakes are higher, the expectations for quality are through the roof.
Speaking of high expectations, they also talk about window cleaning. Seems simple enough, but I imagine cleaning those massive windows on luxury apartment buildings has its own unique challenges.
It's a whole different ball game than cleaning your average house window. You're dealing with heights, awkward angles, and the need for a perfect streak-free finish.
And in a city like Cleveland, with our, let's say, unpredictable weather, I bet those windows get dirty pretty quickly.
Oh, absolutely. Rain, snow, pollen, dust, it all takes a toll.
Yeah.
Regular window cleaning, that's key to maintaining that sparkling, luxurious aesthetic.
Okay, yeah. I'm starting to get a much deeper appreciation for all the work that goes into keeping these buildings looking pristine. It's not just about spraying some water around.
It's about knowledge, specialized techniques,
Hmm.
a real commitment to quality.
And that commitment to quality, it goes beyond just the physical appearance of the building too, right?
It does. Remember those smaller trucks, those carefully trained technicians we talked about earlier? That's not just about aesthetics. It's about providing a service that's discreet, respectful, something that aligns with the expectations of luxury living.
So it's about the whole experience, not just the end result.
Precisely. It's understanding the nuances of the luxury market and catering to those needs at every stage.
You know, this brings us back to something you said before about how the condition of a property can actually impact the whole neighborhood. Can you expand on that a bit more?
Of course, well-maintained properties, especially those in visible locations, they have this ripple effect on the entire community. They help to create a sense of pride, and believe it or not, they can actually influence property values in the area.
It's like that saying, a rising tide lifts all boats.
Exactly. When one property looks great, it motivates others to follow suit. It's a win-win situation for everyone.
So All-Star Power Cleaning, they're not just making buildings look good, they're helping to create a thriving, more vibrant community.
And that's something we can all appreciate, regardless of whether we live in a luxury apartment or not. It's about recognizing that our actions have an impact, that they can make a difference.
This has been such an eye-opening conversation. It's amazing how something as seemingly simple as exterior cleaning can tie into all these bigger ideas.
It really is. Sometimes the most interesting stories are the ones that are hidden in plain sight, just waiting to be discovered.
Well said. And speaking of discovering, I'm ready to dive even deeper. What else can you tell me about the specific techniques they use? You know, all this talk about pressure washing and soft washing, it's making me realize there's a whole toolkit of cleaning techniques out there. What other things do companies like All-Star use?
Well, they did mention paver sealing. That one's interesting. It's not about removing dirt, really. It's more about protection.
Yeah.
Especially for those fancy brick pavers you see in walkways and entryways.
Oh, right. They talked about transforming a property in Westlake with paver sealing. I'm picturing those brick walkways that look brand new, even though they've probably seen a ton of foot traffic.
That's exactly it. Paver sealing, it's basically applying a sealant that helps prevent staining, fading, even weeds growing in between. It's about preserving those surfaces, especially in high traffic areas.
So it's like giving those pavers a shield almost against the elements and I guess just daily wear and tear.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just protection, too. Paver sealing, it can actually enhance the color of the pavers, give them a richer look, a sort of wet look that really adds to the visual appeal.
It's like a subtle upgrade that makes a big difference.
Exactly. And for a company like All-Star, those details matter. It's not just about cleaning, it's about elevating the whole look, the whole feel.
This makes me think about something you said earlier about how the condition of a property can actually influence the whole neighborhood. Like, if one building is really well maintained, does that inspire others to up their game?
It can, definitely. It's like a domino effect almost.
Yeah.
People see a beautiful, well-kept property, and it sets a standard, creates a sense of pride in the community, encourages others to invest in their own properties.
So, all-star power cleaning, they're not just impacting the buildings they service, they're actually playing a role in shaping the, I don't know, the character of the whole neighborhood.
It's a fascinating idea, isn't it? It's
Yeah.
a reminder that even small actions, those little details, they can have these ripple effects that go way beyond their immediate impact.
It all comes back to that attention to detail we talked about, right? Whether it's pressure washing, soft washing, sealing pavers, every choice contributes to the bigger picture.
Absolutely. It's about creating a cohesive, positive experience that extends from the individual resident all the way to the whole community.
I'm starting to see Cleveland differently now. It's like this giant tapestry and all these small but important acts of care and attention. They're what hold it all together.
And so often those acts go unnoticed, but they really are the foundation of a thriving, beautiful environment.
This deep dive has been amazing. I never would have thought that we'd be talking about pressure washers and paver sealants and, all this stuff. And it would be so thought-provoking.
That's the magic of the deep dive, right? We uncover these unexpected connections, find meaning in the most ordinary things.
Well said. And I think we've officially squeezed every last drop of insight out of this all-star power cleaning document. What a journey.
It really has been. It's been a pleasure exploring this with you.
Likewise. And to all our listeners out there, keep your eyes open. Pay attention to those little details that make our city special.
You never know what you might discover.
Exactly. And the next time you see a sparkling apartment building, take a moment to think about all the work and expertise that went into creating that image.
Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the world around us.
And don't forget to share your thoughts and continue the conversation online using #TheDeepDive. We always love hearing from you.